This is the story of a city, a nation, and a world divided. It is the story of the Berlin Wall. For 28 years, a brutal barrier stood at the heart of Europe, carving Berlin in two. It was more than concrete. It was the separation of a people. For 28 years, one wall divided the world, until one night, everything changed. This is the moment hope broke through. The Berlin Wall was a physical scar, a line of watchtowers, concrete, and deadly no man's land that defined the Cold War era. It was a reality defined by separation. Families were torn apart, unable to touch, trapped by a political barrier that felt immovable. But the wall was merely a symptom of a larger conflict, a global ideological struggle that held the world in its grip, the Cold War. In 1961, it was erected overnight, an emergency measure by East Germany to stem the tide of citizens fleeing to the West. The wall became the ultimate symbol of the Iron Curtain, separating Western freedom from Eastern state control, fueling decades of international tension. Yet, beneath the surface of the Eastern Bloc, discontent simmered. By 1989, mass protests and calls for democratic reform were shaking the foundation of the state. The pressure was mounting, the world was watching, and on one historic evening, the climax arrived. A confusing, poorly communicated announcement mistakenly implied that travel restrictions were lifted immediately. The news spread like wildfire. Thousands immediately flocked to the checkpoints. The guards, without clear orders, were caught between official protocol and the overwhelming will of the people. Finally, the gates swung open. In an instant, the years of separation dissolved into pure, unbridled euphoria. People climbed the concrete, symbols of freedom in their hands. The night turned into a global street party. Joyous chaos erupted as East and West Berliners met for the first time in a generation. The sight of East German trabis pouring into the West, met with cheers and champagne, became the enduring image of spontaneous liberation. Families who had only known separation were finally reunited, embracing across the rubble of the fallen wall, healing decades of pain. From Washington to London, the world watched in awe. This was not just a German triumph. It was a victory for democracy and freedom everywhere. Today, only fragments remain. These relics serve as a powerful museum, reminding us of the fragility of peace and the strength of human determination. The structure of separation was dismantled, piece by piece, turning concrete into cherished symbols of a painful past and a hopeful future. The fall of the Berlin Wall taught the world that no barrier, no ideology, is stronger than the desire for freedom and the universal longing for unity. The German nation was whole again, proving that when people stand together, walls will always fall and hope will always prevail.